Hello there and welcome back to my videos. In this video I want to speak about the TypeScript and how we can make the basic type variable declaration. Sorry for the word, I cannot really spell it. So yeah, but the point is how you can set the types, strings and numbers and something like that. So let's starting from the previous video, we having the TypeScript installed like globally. If you don't remember that, we can do this like npm install g and then TypeScript. I already have that, so it will say this. And then we can say tsc and then app gs and then we say watch. And now what we do here will automatically compile app.js file. And what I want to do to show is how we can make this variable. The first one we want to do is it's a let. It's the default let variable. Let's call it var1. It's equal to this can be changed. Yes, var1a, and then we want to say const var2 a is equal to can't be changed. Yes, and what we have here is the first one is the let variable where you can say we can change it, and the second one is if we have something you want and don't want to change it, we can do it this way. And if I hold control down and you can see whatever it's over here, you can see the first one is a string and the second one is can't be changed. So it's already know what the type is, so we don't have doing anything, and that's fine, but that's meaning we later can override it, and that's we are not interested in. So the next thing we want to speak about in this video is how you can declare a variable to number and to strings. So if you're going down here, we can call this for the basic sample node. That's how we do it, and we can clean it up and say we don't need to use this because we don't need it anymore. So in this case we want to say basic string number declare, and we have it here with the spelling. I know that, but we will continue. So make one call it let x1 is equal to a string, and then we want the one here is called a number. If I moving my mouse over here and hold control down, you can say the TypeScript already know this is a string and this is a number. But what I can do, because we have not declared it, I can do it. Of course, I cannot set a string on the. I think if I do this, it's equal to test. You can see this is a wrong one because it said the number, and we can't do this. So you cannot, if you declare the variable in a string and in a number, it cannot be changed. That's very nice. But if I'm sending this code for another one, it should know it should be a string and it should be a number, and it could be difficult when you create a very big application. So in TypeScript you can declare that, of course. So you can say x2 and we say this should be a string, a new string, and then we can say the same in the UI. Sorry, this one should be number, and what we want to do here is say 4 3 2 1, and then that's fine. And that's how we can declare very fast numbers in TypeScript, and that's very useful. The next thing you want to speak about in this video is it's basically functions. So let's say this is a simple, let's call it basic function, and you already know this from TypeScript. You can do this, sorry, not for TypeScript, from Node. If you code this, call it test function, and then we can go inside here. That's the very simple one. It's just say return 1, 2, 3, 4. We already know this. It will return a number, but it's very good practical to do it this way. Say this is a number, and then we know when we run running the function, like let's say this. Let's set 1 is equal to test function. We already know here it should be a return a number, and this is a number. But one more time, if you're not at the creators of this function and this type, it could be very difficult to know that. So again, you can do this here in set2 and say this is a number and equal to test function here. And that's meaning if we say the string here, you can say that you can see it here as a type is a number and it's not assignable to type string. Because the test function is return the number based on what we tell it here, it will return a number and we expect a string. So this will never got happening. I can try to save and you can see it in my compiler down here. You can see here it's really giving an error. So I want to change it back to a number and then it's finally work. Now I think it's a time to speak a little more about multitypes. It's called unions typing. And let's say you have a C here and you want to say it should be a string and a number. It could be a little difficult because this is will never working. You can see that. And in TypeScript you can just do this, and if you're running over here you can see let is a number and sorry, a string. Yeah, here it's a string on a number. That's meaning if I do this and say 1, 2, 3, 4, that's fine. And as I say string, that will be fine. If I say false, that will go wrong because the C is not accepting types that's not a string on number, and the boolean it's not a number and a string, so you can do this. But in this case you can have multi-types, basic onions types. It could be very nice to have, but be careful because sometimes it could be dangerous. Let's say I'm expecting a number, and because we are working with number anywhere, then somehow I'm not the creator, have saying string and then say error because error string because something is going wrong. Then I multiply, say I'm trying to say C is C multiply 5. You can see this will going wrong because the last we know is a string, and now it's going fine because the last we know is a number. So be careful if you use union. Normally I just use it when I need not any. I use a null or I use an unidentified. I use it probably almost the time. That's part. I'm not very lovely to have a multi-number and strings in the same variable, so I'll recommend you not to do this. So I think this is the very basic of how TypeScript working with types and how you can define the types, and of course there's many more types out there. But here to the end in session function test, I will show what you have learned. We have learned to define a function, new function test, and in this function we want a variable, we call it test type, and it could be a number or it could be a string. This is a union we have learned a little bit about here. And then you can go inside the function and say if it's a type of type of test type, is equal to number. And then we want to return 1, 2, 3 plus a number. Else we want to say return test type contains string, and what is contained is what we want here. And then we expect a number or a string. That's what we expect. That's basically everything you have learned today. And let's testing out and see. We just do this and say hello world, and now you can see it's returning it's returning a string in this case. And what we can say here, it's const and say string test. I think we do this, and you can see it's a string and a number. It's based on the content, and we can take one more and call it number. And what we can say here, it's 9876, and everything here, it's perfectly fine. And if you say boolean test, it should fail now, and it's basically do this because it doesn't accept any kind of boolean inside here, so it will fail. So let's comment this out and make a comment here, say this will fail. And that's it. That's how we're working with the types, and how we're working with declaring of your types for everything. Thank you so much, and remember you can download this code on my GitHub. The links will be in the comments in the below, and I really hope you want to subscribe my channel to get more information about it. And of course, send me a comment if you like it, and hit the like button and share it and put it to your playlist. Thank you, and hope to see you next time.